so we can give a virtual applause and congratulate PWN again on 5 years of success. Today, for PWN's fifth annual Women's Empowerment Experience, we're excited to welcome Monique Rodriquez as our keynote speaker. Monique is recognized as a leader in the business community as well as a role model to women of all ages. She, alongside the Mielle brand, has been recognized in publications such as Forbes, Allure, Black Enterprise, and Essence. Monique founded Mielle in 2014. The company began with only one product. And since then, Mielle has expanded to half a dozen collections under Monique's direction, including products for skin and children. Mielle has been distributed in more than 87 countries and can be found in more than 100,000 stores across the United States. Her story is full of strength, resilience, and commitment. We are so happy to have her with us today, and please join me in welcoming Monique Rodriquez.
Thank you. Can you guys hear and see me okay?
Yes.
Yes, good. Oh, okay. Hi, nice to meet everyone. Just want to make sure that we have no technical difficulties. Thank you guys for having me. Thank you for your work and what you're doing to the community and what you're doing for women of color especially. I haven't been familiar with PWN until recently, and I'm just blown away by the amazing things that you have done for women. So I just want to thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be a part of this amazing virtual event today. I know it's not our usual circumstances that we're used to. I'll be so glad when we can actually be in person, give each other a hug, and take some pictures, but obviously we have to make do with the situation that we are currently dealing with. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started and tell you guys a little bit about my background. And obviously you guys did a wonderful job of introducing me. I always, I'm in awe every time I hear my introduction because I'm like, man, I did all that. So thank you guys so much. But again, my name is Monique Rodriquez. I'm the founder and CEO of Mielle Organics. For those of you who are not familiar with Mielle, we are a natural and certified organic hair care company that was started in my kitchen back in 2014. And now we are in over 100,000 major retail stores across the United States and also globally. We have recently expanded globally over in the UK, South Africa, in as little as 6 short years. So we're going on our 7-year anniversary this coming May. And, it's just been truly a blessing. So I'm just really humbled to be here and just to share my story. A little bit about my story and how I started Mielle, because a lot of people, they look at me and they're like, oh, you were an overnight success and, you just blew up overnight. But what a lot of people don't know is becoming an entrepreneur, it takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of determination, perseverance, resilience, determination, all of those things, and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears as well. My background is in nursing. I worked as a registered nurse for 8.5 years before running this successful company that you see today. And when I say that I stepped out on faith and started this company, it's not as easy as a statement says. And, honestly, I'm very rooted in my faith. Mielle Organics is a faith-based organization. And so all glory and honor goes to God, because he is the reason why I'm even here speaking to you today, because I had no business experience. I had no knowledge of marketing. I had very little understanding of social media, but yet here I am today talking to you about my story. So all honor and glory goes to God. He has done some wonderful, exceptional things that has literally blown my mind. And I am a true testimony of faith. And that's what I want to talk about today, having faith in the unknown. Because when you have faith, you can trust that all things are possible. And I can sit here and tell you that I know a lot of people say it sounds cliche, but it is really true. Because I am a true testament that with hard work, determination, and the desire, because you have to have a burning desire for whatever it is that you choose to do. when you have that desire and you have hard work and determination, you can truly create the life that you want to live. And I am a testimony because I'm here speaking to you about my journey, and the reason why I'm here is because of faith. I'm a testimony that you can speak things into existence. I really believe in the power of a manifestation. You have the power to manifest your dreams. You have the power to manifest your life, because God is a creator, but he allowed us to be co-creators with him. So I'm a true testament that also you can create something wonderful out of a painful place. And you can find your purpose from a painful situation. And I truly believe that, no matter what your circumstance is, you can do whatever it is, but you have to put your trust fully in him and let God continue to lead the way. So, everything that I talk about, everything that I speak from, it comes from my heart, and it comes from a spirit of faith, because I know my story and I know where I came from. So I pray that all of you all are believers here. And if you're not, hopefully I can convert you to be a believer. Because again, you can't navigate this life without having God first. Before I created Mielle back in 2014, like I said, I worked as a nurse for 8.5 years. And in 2013, I went through a very, very tragic experience where I was pregnant with my third child. It was my first son. I have 2 girls. And my pregnancy was a high-risk pregnancy. Because of that high-risk pregnancy, it resulted in me having a uterine rupture, and I actually lost my son at birth. Obviously, when that happened, it was a very terrible experience. It was, had me questioning like my existence. It had me questioning my purpose. It had me questioning like, why did this even happen to me? Because here I am. I felt like I did everything that I was supposed to do. I felt like I was doing everything by the book. I went to school. I went to college. I graduated. I started working as a nurse. I bought my first home. Me and my husband, we were married. And it was like, I was doing everything that, society said that I was supposed to do. So like, I didn't smoke, didn't do drugs. I was a nurse, so I understood the importance of, taking care of my body and, maintaining a healthy pregnancy. But yet, no matter what I thought I knew, I didn't have a relationship with God at first. I was not raised in church. I can't quote scripture like, some Bible scholars, but I had to quickly learn and lean on God, because when you're in a dark place like that, my mom couldn't help me get me out of that place. My husband couldn't help me get out of that place. My kids couldn't help me get out of my place. The only thing that I can lean on was my faith and trust in God, because I had to remind myself that whatever this situation is that I'm going through, I know it's going to work out for my good. I don't know how it's going to work out, and I don't even understand why, but I have to trust God that he is going to, reveal to me the reason why I went through this. Ever since I was young, I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I've always had that burning desire, which is what I talked about earlier, to be a business owner. Throughout my nursing career, I tried to start so many different businesses. I tried to do direct sales. I did Mary Kay. I did Scentsy Candles. I did ACN, a cable company. When the direct sales wasn't working for me, I tried to start a jewelry business. I even tried to start a clothing business. I tried to start a nursing agency, because when all of those things didn't work, I was like, okay, well, let me try to go back to my nursing, because that's what I'm comfortable with. That's what I know. I was working agency as a nurse. So I'm like, well, I can start my own agency. So that desire for me to be an entrepreneur was always there. It was always there. And I felt that being a nurse was the comfortable thing to do. My mom always instilled in me growing up that, if you become a nurse, you'll always have a job, it's recession proof, you make good money, and all of her friends were nurses. So that's what I saw. That's what I was exposed to growing up. I didn't see women, Black women especially, running their own businesses. I didn't see Black women that were multimillionaires. So I thought that this was the best that I can do. I put a limit on myself because I didn't see it. So I felt that because I didn't see it or because I wasn't exposed to it, yeah, I have this desire to one day own my own business, but that's not possible because, I didn't come from a family of entrepreneurs. I didn't have any role models in my past. So like, who am I to think that I can like really start a business? Like that was my mindset then. So the thing is like, we can put our own limitations on ourselves when God is limitless. Like God has no limitations. And that was actually in my devotional this morning. And I felt that it was so prevalent because I was like, oh, I'm speaking about this today, is that we have to stop thinking small. We have to think big, because once you start putting limits on yourself, God is going to say, okay, well, if you're going to limit yourself, I'm going to go over here to the person that's thinking big and bless them because they're thinking big. So my thinking has shifted completely because God has showed me, God has increased my faith. And so throughout my journey of becoming an entrepreneur and starting all of those different things, and nothing worked, right? So when nothing worked, I doubted myself. I gave up. I said, well, maybe this is not my journey. I know that this is what I want to do, but I don't have the knowledge. I don't have the know-how. So let me just be comfortable and go back to my nursing career. So my last business venture was about a year or so before me starting Mielle and becoming pregnant in 2013. So my last job as a nurse, I worked as a supervisor in a home health agency, and I was working at the desk because I was pregnant. And that allowed me to open my eyes and start just thinking differently, because the owners of this home health agency I worked for were two guys that were computer geeks, but yet they were able to start this nursing agency. And I thought to myself, I said, how is it that these two guys that had no knowledge of nursing can create this $1 billion in business? Because at that time, a home health agency was $1 billion industry. How is it that they can create this industry and had no experience and able to manage it and be successful at it? But I'm putting a limit on myself. And what the thought that popped in my idea was the fact that, oh, they were able to hire people that were smarter than them in areas that they were not. And I was like, wow, that just was like clear as day. Like, you know how you get a revelation? And it was like the light bulb went off, and I said, well, just because I may not have experience in a certain area doesn't mean that I can't surround myself and find people to surround myself with in areas that I'm not smart in or areas that I don't have the expertise in. Let me try to find people so I can learn from and glean on and create the desire that I have in my heart. And so that's what I was thinking at that time, but, I was still doubting myself. So it was August of 2013 when I was rushed to the hospital and, discovered that my uterus had ruptured and that my son was more than likely not going to make it. I knew at that time, but I didn't accept it. So when that happened, obviously it was very dark for me. And I had to go back to work to a job, which was my home health job, go back to work in a job that I wasn't invested in. I had just recently suffered a loss with my son. I was just completely unhappy. But in the midst of my situation, I knew that God was still with me. I knew that in order for me to turn things around and to not get depressed, and to not, can you guys hear me? It said my internet was unstable. Am I good? Good. Okay,
Yeah, Monique, we can still hear you.
In order for me, okay, great. In order for me to not get depressed and to not get down, I had to turn to God. And me and my husband, we both got saved in January of 2014. And once we got saved, that's when our lives completely shifted. That's when, I don't know how to describe it, but it was just a different feeling. The Holy Spirit just came over us. And I decided to just completely let God, take the wheel and let him lead my life. Because the reason why none of those other businesses worked for me, the reason why my life wasn't going the way that I wanted it to go was because I wasn't living my life with God at the center. I was trying to figure things out the Monique way. So when I said that, I didn't understand why this was happening to me because I did everything right. I did everything right according to, what society said or according to how I was raised, not according to God's will and not according to putting him first and letting him be the center of my life. So when I decided to let God lead the way, when I decided to submit, when I decided to surrender, that's when things started to shift for me. That's when I had the revelation. That's when God gave me the vision to just step out on faith because, I was like, in order for me to remain sane, in order for me to not get depressed, I need an outlet. And so for me, social media was an outlet for me talking about hair care. I started in my kitchen. I started making different concoctions in my kitchen and applying it to my hair. I was just experimenting. I didn't know what I was doing. Did I know at the time that I was going to create Mielle? Absolutely not. But what I found a passion in was connecting with women, talking about hair care, talking about, ways to style your hair, different ingredients that you should use, what you shouldn't use to maintain healthy hair. So I found a passion in educating women because educating women was something that I did on a regular basis. I educated women on health. I was a labor and delivery nurse for the majority of my nursing career before I went into home health. So finding that passion of talking about hair care on social media, it was fulfilling to me. And that's when the light bulb went off and I said, I love doing this. Like I love creating these different concoctions. I love talking about it on social media. I love to see other women try the concoctions that I was making and put it on their hair and get amazing results and to get the feedback because people started sending me DMs and saying, how great their hair was turning out. And it was just a fulfilling feeling to me. And I was like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing because throughout that pain, throughout that dark place, that was giving me joy. My relationship with God was growing. It was increasing. My faith was increasing. That was giving me joy. And it was a joy that was, not felt before. So that desire was starting to manifest. That desire that I had years ago when I was trying to be an entrepreneur and it wasn't working, decided to manifest once I started to surrender and submit. So I just started testing products. I created, one product and I said, I'm gonna just test this out. I found a chemist, a local chemist that was in the Chicago area because I'm from Chicago. And, I went to this chemist and I said, look, this is what I've been making at home and I need your help. I don't know how I'm going to bring this to life, this idea to life, but this is what I want to create. And, And obviously I did get a lot of no's, but I finally got that one yes, which was from that chemist that was in the Chicago area that was like, okay, listen, we'll work with you and we'll put this project together for you. And I started working with them, created a website. I was building up a social media following and I launched in May of 2014, May 23rd, 2014. And I haven't looked back. And that's because I decided to have faith in the unknown. And that's what I want to talk to you ladies about today is having faith in the unknown. Because in order for Mielle to be where it's at today, I had to have faith when I started. Like I said, I would not be here without God because each and every day, I wake up in the morning, I have to have faith that God is going to see me through. I have to have faith that God is going to give me the steps. He's going to order my steps to be a better business owner each and every day. And that's something that we've also, I feel like, learned during this pandemic. Like this pandemic has caused us to be still. If this pandemic has not taught you anything, then I don't know what else is it going to take because we had time to be still. We had time to work on ourselves. We had time to develop our relationship with God, deepen our relationship with God, to know his word, and to really just allow him to be the center of our lives. And when you think about faith, faith is the substance of things hoped for, evidence of things not seen. And what this pandemic has even further taught me, I learned it when I went through the situation with my son, and I still continue to learn it all throughout business because in business, every day it's a roller coaster. There is no day that everything's the same. Each day is different. So each day you got to have a lot of faith and again, have faith that he's going to give you the wisdom to make the right decisions. But what I've learned is that sometimes God will allow us to experience the unknown, not to build fear in us, but to build trust. And we have to understand, like, God, he's not a God of confusion. He is not trying to confuse us when he, throws something at us, because he is not the author of confusion. He is the author of peace. He is not trying to make us afraid, because, even when this pandemic hit, a lot of us were, worry and having feelings of doubt, which are normal feelings. Our feelings are valid. Like, when you have feelings, he gave you those feelings. So however you feel at that moment are totally normal, but you have to always remind yourself of his word and know that he is not trying to make us afraid, because he did not give us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and of sound mind. So God wants to build trust in him so that we grow closer to him and begin to understand who he truly is and his love for us. And that's what I learned in the very beginning, because I didn't understand it, but I knew that God was working. And of course, when I look back and I see all the amazing things that God has blessed me with, God has given me the courage. And granted, would I trade all of this in to have my son here? Absolutely. But I do know that my son has taught me so much that nobody else in this world could have ever taught me. My son, his birth gave me the courage. His birth deepened my relationship with God. His birth deepened my marriage, my relationship with my husband. It brought us all closer together as a family. So when I look at the good that came out of it, was I hurt? Was I devastated? Absolutely. But I look at everything that came from his birth. And that I don't take for granted. So when I think about my business and Mielle, I take everything that I do very seriously, because I know that this didn't have to happen to me. I know that the way that I think, my mindset, the way that I was able to shift my thinking and come out of that dark place was nothing but God. So the reason why like I said, I'm here is because of faith. Faith allowed me to take the first step to pursue my dream, to be an entrepreneur after experiencing something that was so devastating to me. Faith allowed me the opportunity to quit my job after starting Mielle. It was 6 months into this business that I decided that I wanted to leave my nursing career and be done with it. Faith gave me that opportunity. So you have to believe before you see. You have to have a burning desire. You have to have a relationship with God, because he is the author and the finisher of us. When I think about this pandemic, it hit us in March of last year. And like I said, when you have those feelings of the unknown, it was like, okay, this is something that we've never experienced as a country. And it left me wondering, like, what the heck is going to happen? Like, I was thinking, like, should I save my marketing dollars? Should I continue to spend my marketing dollars? Like, what should we do? Which direction should we go? And it was so like chaotic in my brain, because I'm like, I don't know what to do, because nobody has been in this situation before. Even my mentors, it was like I couldn't ask my mentor a question, because we were all experiencing this together, and it was all of the unknown. But God gave me the vision, and I did reach out to a mentor that I have, and I said, what do you recommend? Like, should we, save our marketing dollars, or should we just put our foot on the gas pedal? And his advice to me was, put your foot on the gas pedal. And, when you talk about wisdom, God gives you the wisdom, and he gives you and it says in his word, those who seek wise counsel succeed. So the people that are around you, God will place people, he will place resources in your path so you can seek wise counsel. And for me, I'm not afraid to say I don't know. I'm not afraid to say I'm not sure. I'm afraid. I need help. And so that's the foundation of being successful, is being humble enough to ask questions. So when I asked my mentor, I said, what do you recommend? He said, put your foot on the gas pedal. And I said, okay. And I didn't look back, and I put my foot on the gas pedal. We had to pivot. We had to throw out our 200-something page marketing plan and be able to pivot in the unknown. And when I look at 2020, my business experienced exponential growth. We've experienced basically quadruple growth, because why? I have faith. I sought out wise counsel, and I trusted God that, listen, I prayed Jeremiah 17 over myself, the people that were connected to me, that even in a drought, God is going to allow us to bear fruit. So you got to speak it. You got to claim it. You got to have faith, knowing that, yes, I don't know what's going to happen with this pandemic. I still don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to keep pushing forward. I'm going to keep trusting God because I trust that he has me no matter what. And before I leave you guys, I want to leave you guys with some steps on how to activate your faith, how to keep your faith, because when you think about faith, faith is a muscle. And it has to be strengthened through exercise. Like, faith is not something that we can have by our natural ability. Faith is something that we have to ask for through the Holy Spirit. When you think about unknown situations, in order to navigate through these situations and in order to navigate through the unknown, you got to have the foundation of faith, and you have to exercise that faith. And so my prayer also for you all is that God continues to increase your faith. And how does he increase your faith? By showing up and doing supernatural things that you didn't even think was possible. One of the things that you can do to increase your faith is start with building a relationship with God. As I mentioned earlier, now is the time to, just build a relationship with him. If you have not had a relationship with God, again, I'm not here to push anything off on you, but I'm here to just tell you my story, my testimony, and to tell you that this life did not come with instructions, but it did come with a God that's here to lead us and guide us. And in order for you to have that guidance, you have to have a relationship. And then you question, well, how do I have a relationship with God? The same way that you would have a relationship with your friends and family. Just talk to him. And no, we don't have to be holier than thou. No, we don't have to use big theologist words or theological words. Just say, God, listen, I need your help. And when you invite him in, he steps in and he takes over. You don't have to say, God, come down to me, because God is always with us. He's always with us. He's always in the presence of us. And in order for us to have that relationship, it just starts with just talking to him like you would talk to your friend, like you would talk to your mom, instead of taking our problems to other people. Because when you think about when you have a problem, if the person that you're taking that problem to does not have a solution for you, then you're just venting and you're gossiping. And you have to know that if they can't help me solve it, then they're not the person that I need to be talking to. So take that up with God. Take that up with people that can offer you solutions, not people that can just add to your problems, or not people that can just feed off of your problems and be glad that you're having them. So, take that up with God. So it starts with just having a conversation with him, building that relationship with him. The second thing is hearing the word of God. His word is true. His word is today the same. His word is the same today, yesterday, and forevermore. So knowing his word and knowing the truth in his word, because it's so easy to get negative thoughts, right? It's so easy that when we're in the moments of stillness, that when we have a positive thought, there's always a negative thought that's trying to tackle and take away from that positive thought. So what I have learned is that in order to combat those negative thoughts, because we all get them, right? But you have to cast those thoughts down and remind yourself of his truth. When you doubt yourself, when you worry, you have to remind yourself, well, what does his word say about worry? He says, do not worry or be anxious about anything, but with prayer, petition, and thanksgiving, submit our requests to you. So I'm not going to worry when I can just go to God and say, listen, this is what I'm concerned about. You said, cast your cares onto me, and he will take care of your cares and your worries. So the times that you get those negative thoughts, always remind yourself of God's word and his truth, because that helps you combat those negative thoughts and also help you increase your faith. The third thing is be thankful. Be thankful for where you are right now. Be thankful for your current circumstances. Be thankful for your future and what God has in store for you. Be thankful for your past, because in order to receive God's blessings, you have to be thankful and show praise and gratitude. When I was working as a nurse, even though I didn't like my job, I never verbalized that. I never spoke that. A lot of people knew that I had desires to, one day own my own business, because I have nurses to this day that send me messages and they'll say, I knew you was going to be a business owner because that's all you used to talk about. That's all you used to talk about, was how one day you're going to own your own business. And, they can tell that nursing wasn't what I was called to do, but it was what I was doing at that moment. And it was a part of my journey. And I can tell you this much: any job that I worked at, you can call any of my managers now. They can never say a bad thing about me, because I always worked with integrity. I always worked with passion to serve others, because when you're working and you're thankful for where you're at right now, God knows that he can trust you with the little to bless you with the lot. So always be thankful and show praise and gratitude. And then the other thing is being obedient. When God tells you to move, you better move. When I was working as a nurse, I felt that desire to become an entrepreneur. I felt the burning urge to just, step out on faith and, just do it. But because of the enemy of doubt, because of the enemy of fear, I never did it. And God had to wake me up in order to see my full potential, in order to see what my true purpose was, in order to discover my passion. I had to go through some painful things in order to get to where I'm at. And the last thing I want to share with you guys is sharing your testimony. You overcome by the power of your testimony. For me, when I first started, I didn't share the true backstory of Mielle. And the reason why I didn't share it was because I couldn't share it without breaking down in tears and crying. But I learned that once I started talking about it with a few people, I was able to talk about it with more people. And then I was able to talk about it with more people. And then I realized that I was helping other people, other women that experienced something similar. I was helping other women that went through painful trials and saw that how I was able to overcome and not let my circumstances dictate my future. It was helping other people. And not only was it helping other people, it was also a therapy for myself. So I was able to share my thoughts and share my feelings and share my testimony of how I was able to start Mielle, how I was able to get through, the loss of my son. And that was therapy for me. And it allowed me to get through it day by day. So that will also help you increase and activate your faith. So again, faith is in the unknown, just trusting him that he is going to take care of you no matter what. And I know that, again, this year 21, is still a year of, and that's the thing, any year is an unknown year. You just never know what's going to happen. But despite whatever happens, just know that nothing can separate you from the love of God. And as long as you stand on his word, and as long as you stay true to yourself, be your authentic self, and go into things with the servant mentality, you will always win. And one of the things that I realized in this journey of entrepreneurship, that me being an entrepreneur was not about me. It was about how can I serve others, continue to serve my community. So if any of you follow me on social media, you'll see that, we're always serving others. We just gave away 2 brand new cars to our customers who were just random followers. They didn't have to do anything but follow us, buy a product, and you were entered into a chance to win a brand new car. And when we to bless the 2 contestants with a car, just to see how it literally changed their life, it was just like, wow, I see the divine order that you're doing this. Because I tell you, how these ladies won, it was nothing but divine connection. One of the ladies won. She was actually, I do a prayer call every Monday with my friends. And I'm gonna just share this one story before I go. I do this one prayer call every Monday with my friends. And my friend that leads the prayer call, she opened it up to other people. So of course, some of my followers also follow some of my friends. And this follower saw the prayer call number and was on this prayer call back in over the summertime. I don't remember what month, but she was on this prayer call. And she expressed, because my friend always does like prayer requests. If anyone has any requests to pray for, like they'll pray for you. And so she did the prayer request. And this lady, she got on the prayer call and she was like, her and her husband, they had 2 boys. their sons recently wrecked their car in a car accident and left them without a car for the whole family. They only had one car for the family. So she was asking for prayer for a brand new car. And she was like, she didn't know how it was going to happen because they didn't have the finances at that time, but they're just praying and hoping for a new car. She did not know that I was on this call. Okay. I did not know that we were going to eventually do a car giveaway. You know, it was kind of up in the air of, you know, what our thoughts were about doing this car giveaway. And then we finally made it final around like sometime in the fall with my marketing director. So when, and then I found out that it was her on the call because we always talk via DM, and she made mention of the call. And I was like, oh, you were on the prayer call. So I knew it was her, right? So when we were getting ready to do this car giveaway, we did it around November. My marketing director was like, okay, these are the qualifications for the car, et cetera. And I was like, okay, well, I think I have a person in mind for this car, but I want to make sure that she follows the directions of whatever the contest is. And he was like, okay, cool. So she followed the directions unknowingly, and God put her on my heart to bless her with this car, right? And so once she followed the directions of the contest, you know, I told my marketing director, I said, she did everything. So I think that she should be blessed with the car. God put her on my heart. She did not know that I was on this call, but it was a reason. That was a divine connection for God to have me on that call and to have her on that call on this at the same time, and her to express her desire for a new car. And if you are in a position to bless someone, you need to be in that position and be obedient to God. And so when she found out that she was blessed with that car, it just changed her life. Like, she was just so happy and so overjoyed. And I told her, I said, don't thank me for this car. You need to thank God, because God is the one who orchestrated all of this, because how everything happened for her to be on this phone call in the summer, her faith was big enough to know that she was going to be blessed with the car. And God had me on this call to hear her prayer request and gave me the opportunity to bless her. So my point is, you never know who's in a position to help you. You never know who's in the room, but it starts with having big faith. If I can leave you guys with anything today, I just want to encourage you to not think small, not to think big, because God is limitless. Don't put any limits on yourself. Don't put any limits on God. If you claim it, if you speak it, he gives us the power. God thought of us so much to give us the power and the authority to speak things that are not as though they are. And when you have that ability, and when you start speaking things, and when you start claiming big things to happen in your life, you will see the manifestation come to life. So I hope that, you know, I wasn't too much overtime, but I hope that, you know, me sharing my story and allowing you guys to just activate your faith and the unknown, you know, allowing you guys to just think big and not think small is what I want to leave you with. And I hope that I was able to bless you and motivate you even further with my message today. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Monique. Thank you so much for this message and for understanding the importance of PWN and aligning your incredible brand with PWN's incredible mission. And I know that a lot of people really appreciated this message. Some of the comments that were in the chat were that it was powerful, timely, and on point. And we do have time for 2 or 3 questions for Monique. I know there are probably a lot of questions for you, but we can take 2 or 3. So if you have a question you'd like to ask, go ahead and raise your hand and we'll unmute you so that you can ask Monique your question.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, I'm okay for questions.
So if anyone has a question, raise your hand and we will unmute you so you can ask your question. Don't be shy. I saw a lot of people chatting, so this is the time. And we do have a raised hand. We're going to go to Jacqueline.
Okay.
Hey, Monique, it's not a question. I just want to say thank you. It was truly timely. I was one of the ones who said it was timely, and the comments were just wonderful and definitely appreciated. And God bless you. I'm looking for you on social media right now so I can follow you. The question, the prayer number, please share that information for the prayer call.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's my personal Instagram page is @exquisitemo. And then if you DM me, because it's not my prayer call. So the thing is, I do a live prayer every Monday on my Instagram live. So if you follow me @exquisitemo, is exquisite spelled like in the dictionary, MO. I do a live prayer every Monday, and I pray for all my followers on live. The other prayer call that I do with my friends, that's my friend's prayer call. So I just have to ask her for her permission. She's very, she wants to make sure that she keeps, a tight, because honestly, y'all know that you can't let everybody in. Not saying that about you guys, but it's just not mine. So I just have to ask her for her permission. And I'm sure she wouldn't mind. So if you could just DM me, I have my phone open right now. And then I'll ask her if it's okay to just give you her prayer call information.
Awesome. Do we have any other questions or any other comments for Monique before we let her go after giving that amazing keynote? Just go ahead and raise your hand and we will unmute you so that you can connect with her directly right now. I think we have time for 2 more.
Vanessa, on our Hoover platform, we see that Lashishia has a question. Can you unmute yourself and go ahead and ask your question?
Okay, can you guys hear me?
She is.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, sorry, I couldn't figure out this platform. I do want to just first say thank you, Monique. I really appreciate you sharing your testimony. Our stories are very, very similar. I too lost a child and had a very tough time with that, and had a tough time with kind of finding myself. So I find myself now. I am the founder of a product and beauty supply line called Natural Beauty Supply. And I created it to help men and women love themselves naturally. So my question to you is, whenever it came down to finding your chemist and manufacturing in that realm, I'm having trouble there. Can you give me any sort of advice as to finding a chemist or manufacturer to mass produce? Because I feel like I'm at a wall where I'm having trouble making everything in my kitchen. So can you speak to that at all?
Yeah. And what do you make again? I'm sorry.
So I make all natural handmade beauty supply products. So I have body butters, I have body scrubs, I have a male beard care line. If you have a bae with a beard, we have Beard Bae. We have apparel, but mainly our main products are all natural, handmade, vegan friendly beauty body products. So we're like a self-care line, and our niche is African-American men and women.
Okay. Do you have your own formulas? Are they yours?
Yes. Yeah. I make all my products.
Okay, that's great. So honestly, when I found my chemist, it was on a Google search. I just searched for like personal care manufacturers and personal care chemists, and that's how I was able to find it. I do have some recommendations for different manufacturers that you can possibly work with. I won't say it's an issue, but what I see a lot of small businesses have a hard time with is the minimums. Because when you start working with some of these bigger, larger manufacturers, like their minimums will be, starting at 10,000 quantity, right? And you may not, especially as a small business that's starting out, you may not have the customer base to support that amount yet, or you may not have the income coming. I don't know what your income is. I'm just telling you where I was at the beginning. But I didn't have the income to support or the revenue to support minimums of 10,000. So I was fortunate enough to do business with a manufacturer that was still local, because I had to switch from the one that I started with to scale up a little bit, because my minimum started to increase, but not still at the capacity where I was able to afford these larger manufacturers. So what they allowed me to do was they allowed me to kind of like layaway or negotiate my payments. So let's say if their minimum was 5,000, they would produce 5,000, but they will only give me 1,000, and then I would pay for that 1,000, and then, be able to or get the remaining and pay as I go. Not a lot of people will do that. So I'm just going to recommend that if you can try to negotiate, that's going to take relationship. It's going to take building trust, because they have to trust that you're going to pay them. And the way that I met them was going to a trade show. So the unfortunate piece right now is that there are no trade shows, there are no events happening right now. So we don't have the opportunity to network. So like I said, I can give you a few recommendations. And if you, if you go on Google, you can find a lot of manufacturers, and then you're going to have to, start negotiating with them. Yeah, their minimum may be 10,000, but this is where I am right now. And sometimes you may have to show them, if you have sales, to show them proof, like, this is where my company is now. If you're willing to work with me, give me good cost. I know your minimum is 10,000, but allow me to separate my POs and allow me to just take 1,000, because that's what I can afford right now. And then I'll just pay you as orders start coming in, and I'll take all of that 10,000, but it won't be at one time. So it's going to take a little bit of negotiating on your end with the manufacturers, but there are plenty. I'm not sure where do you live?
I'm in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah, so there are a lot of manufacturers in the New York area. Off the top of my head, I can think of. I'm not sure about the Philadelphia area, but I know in Jersey there are lots of personal care manufacturers. So I would start there, and then just start making calls. And again, you're gonna get a lot of no's. People not gonna want to work with you. You gotta be okay with that. But you gotta just keep pushing and keep talking and keep trying to negotiate with people, because out of those 20 no's, you're going to get one yes, but you're not going to get that yes if you give up. So it's going to take some work on your end too.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And then for the ones that you would suggest, should I DM you, or how would that work?
Yeah. So I'm actually sitting here by my DMs, because I was waiting for the other young lady that asked about the prayer. So I have my DMs open right now. Uh-oh, that wasn't it. So if you send it to me now, I can send you some.
Okay, I'll send it now. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Monique. So everyone on this call, we're together for connecting and growing our network, making sure we have the right people around us. Just as a final wrap up, can you just share with us the importance of who you do have on your team, and how that has worked with you in your brand development?
Yes, so it's who you surround yourself. And the reason why I'm laughing is because it was an issue just this past Monday, right off the top of the new year with, at work. And sometimes as a CEO, you have to make tough decisions, right? Because it's all about who you surround yourself with. And I say it so much that my daughter was in the car, and she's 15 years old, and she saw that I was a little frustrated, and she was like, well, the best advice that I can give you, you know what a wise person once told me? And I was like, no, Mia, what did they tell you? She was like, well, a wise person once told me that you have to be careful who you surround yourself with, because bad company corrupts good character. And she was like, and this wise person is sitting right next to me. So I had to laugh, because it's like, I need to take my own advice, because, it's so important that your network, the people that are surrounding you, it can either be detrimental to your growth, or it can contribute to your growth. And our motto is, if you're not helping me evolve, I don't want to be involved. So that comes with employees as well. Building a brand, you cannot build a brand by yourself. There are no multi-millionaire people that I have ever met on this planet that have built their brands or where they are today by themselves. So you need a team, you need an army. Just like it takes a village to raise a child, it takes a village to raise a brand. But a part of that village, it has to be people that are willing to serve. Again, when I know that what I do is not about me, that I have to serve, the people that you surround yourselves with also have to be able to serve as well. And surround yourself with people that are not going to be yes people. You don't want anyone that's always yesing you, because how are you going to learn? How are you going to grow? you want to be around people that's able to give you constructive criticism and that knows that if you do X, Y, and Z, or the decision that you make today, how is it going to affect your future? So I hire people, my staff, like we always go back to back, toe to toe, because they don't agree with everything that I do. But I am the CEO that likes to listen to everybody's perspective before I make an informative decision. And you have to be that type of person, because the vision is not just going to come from your two eyes. Your vision is going to come from the people that you're surrounded with. If your vision only comes from two eyes, your vision is going to be small. So it's important that you put people in position that know more than you in certain areas, because let's face it, I don't know everything, and I'm not here to tell you that I know everything, but I know how to do one thing, and that's surround myself with people that I can learn from. So when you're getting out here and you're networking and you're hiring people and you're trying to surround yourself with people, also know that you're not going to get it right. You're going to come across a lot of bad apples, right? You're going to come across a lot of sour grapes, but those people are meant to be on your journey to teach you and for you to learn from, so you'll know what not to hire and what not to be around, right? So you got to learn, and don't think that if you hire somebody or you surround somebody, if they have bad intentions, because I used to worry about, well, I don't want to be around such and such because their intentions, or they're trying to use me, or, they have ulterior motives. Don't worry about someone else's motives, because God will take care of them. As long as your intentions are good, as long as you do things with good intentions, God will take care of you, and he'll separate those people that have ulterior motives. And when you start worrying about what other people's motives are, that allows you to put a guard up. And so when you put a guard up, you're not allowing other people that have good intentions, and the people that are going to do you good, you're not going to allow them to come in. So I've learned to not be so guarded, but to just trust. And that's a part of faith, right? I have to have faith that God is going to send the right people, and speak that. You have to speak it out to the atmosphere and speak it out to God. Like, God, you're going to send me genuine connections, not God, no, I wish you would send me somebody that was smarter than me, or I wish you would. No, you're going to send me good people that I'm going to learn from. You're going to send me good connections. You're going to send me divine resources. You have to speak that. And if you speak that, he will. So it's extremely important for your success that you surround yourself with smart people that really genuinely want to see you grow, and not worry about others' intentions, and stay focused on what the future lies ahead for you. And that's something that I had to learn. So I would just share that.
And that was a great way to wrap things up. Thank you so much, Monique, for joining us. I'm sure everyone is giving you a virtual applause, a standing ovation right now, even though we can't hear everybody, they're doing it. So thank you so much. And we really do wish you nothing but the very best for all of your future endeavors. So thank you for sharing your time and your energy with us this afternoon. And thank you to all of you, all of our attendees, for giving me the opportunity to join you. It was a pleasure to serve as your mistress of ceremonies. And now I'm going to turn it back over to PWN's founder and executive director, Danielle Person.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for helping us celebrate and helping us navigate this space. You came through for us. You took on some new roles today. You jumped in places that you weren't originally even asked to be a part of. So thank you so much. You look beautiful. Your home looks beautiful. Just a funny something for everyone on the call. When Vanessa sent me her first video, I was like, are you a virtual setting behind you? Like, what is that? It looks so nice. She's like, that's my living room. I'm like, my living room don't look like that. So thank you so much for allowing us into your space. Monique, thank you so much for sharing your story. It was incredible. Thank you for your messaging. I can just say, in the few months that I've had the opportunity to get to know you, you are a pure joy to work with. Your spirit does shine through. You've shown to be dependable and flexible. So I thank you for sharing that with us today. And I thank you for sharing Mielle with us, for all of our Platinum and VIP guests who receive your products in the mail. It looks beautiful. Our edges are laid. Our hair is shining. So thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I appreciate you for being with us. And for Vanessa and for Monique, anyone who has emceed for us in the past, or any of our past speakers, will let you know that we do not let you go. once you come with us. So you will be a part of this network. You will be hearing from us. I'm sure that even Dr. A can tell you some things. I've sent those late night text messages. Once you're a part of the network, we continue to hold you close to us. So we look forward to continuing to work with you all. For our attendees, I encourage you to continue to stay engaged with each other, even after today through our virtual platform. You can continue to chat, to shop, and host virtual meetups. Some of you have already been quite busy. If you haven't had the chance to look at the leaderboard, you do get points for your engagement. We have some true leaders right now. I encourage you to continue getting those points. The top 3 scores will receive a special box from PWN. And our final scoring will happen today at 5 o'clock Eastern. So good luck for anyone. And don't even just do it for the points. That does make it fun, but really get to know each other. And some of you guys have really started to do that. And then also to our attendees, all I can say is, wow, you really showed up for us again today. And when I say you showed up for us, I don't mean you showed up for PWN. I mean, you showed up for Danielle, for Lisa, Erica, Jessica, Patrice, LaShonda, Latrice, Shirley, Lita, Kenya, Catherine. You showed up for all the women on this call to help us connect, engage, and inspire, even in the midst of a global pandemic, even in the midst of an ever-changing world, even when we live in a time when law enforcement shoot Black men in the back and take selfies with domestic terrorists, a time when the highest office shows blatant disrespect for women and people of color, a time when we have to pause to celebrate our first Black female vice president because privilege concludes there must have been a miscount. Nevertheless, we show up for each other. Our work in whatever space we occupy is proof of how we operate in excellence. We can build and create the futures we want to see for us and those beyond us. We must continue to lift each other up, from our corporate women, our entrepreneurs, to our activists. And here's where you can start. Join us. Join PWN in connecting women across the country. Help us continue to build and create a strong pipeline of female leadership, a pipeline that produces more judges, more doctors, more CEOs, more owned and operated brands that circulate our dollars in our communities. Join us for a movement. This is not something we can do alone. We need each other. I learned that a long time ago, and then Monique told us today, you surround yourself with people that have more expertise than you do, and I've definitely done that. I've been so honored to work with an incredible team: Jasmine Julo, Erica Grayson, Ashley Comans, Risha Jackson, Blair Holmes Davis, Nicole Webster, Kenya Matthews. Thank you for helping to lead this network. Today's volunteers, Amber, Lita, and Imaginees, thank you for taking that 12th hour call and helping us in this space. Our advisory chair, Jessica Brooks Woods, thank you for accepting the charge. I now invite Jessica to share our final message.
Can you hear me okay? I don't sound like a robot, do I? Okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
I'm so full. I am the fullness, my heart is full. I can feel it. Thank you. I concur and echo everything Danielle said to this team and all the speakers. Vanessa, you do look gorgeous. Monique, what a blessing, what a message. The power in the unknown. I'm grateful. Monique shared that with us, how critical it is to be grateful. And I'm grateful for what she shared. She told us, you have the power to manifest your dreams. You are a co-creator of God. You can create out of a painful place, no matter the circumstance, including losing a child, including childhood trauma, including rejection, including racism, but God. She trusted that He would reveal through pain a burning desire of her purpose, and that was unleashed. Don't put limits on yourself when God is limitless. Stop thinking small and think big. I mean, that wasn't even the full content of what she shared. Shift your thinking is what I got out of that. There is no coincidence we are here right now, this day, which happens to be my birthday, on the 5th annual PWN annual luncheon. A vision, if Danielle knew would be realized, wouldn't have happened due to fear. Just the other day, I heard fear is the greatest disagreement with God. The greatest disagreement with God. And the number 5, the 5th annual, number 5 is commonly referred to the number of humanity. She, the number 5, is noted for independence, versatility, rebellion, and a daring nature, an unwillingness to conform to limitations, fear, distractions, depression, and any other ism we can think of. And to Danielle's remarks in her video, fear has no place here. Ladies, we are here, we are chosen, we will win, we are the solution. So I thank you for attending. I thank you to our sponsors. I thank you to all of our speakers for prioritizing us, for prioritizing this event every year. You have made an investment into our lives that will transcend our current realities and our current understanding. So let's move into the power of the unknown. Let's not be afraid of the unknown. Let's move with a burning desire plus hard work and determination, as Monique said. I thank you all, and I'm blessed to be a part of this dynamic organization. Continue to be with us as we continue our journey and our impact. I'll turn it back over to you, Danielle.
Thank you so much, Jessica. I think that's a great way for us to wrap up the afternoon. Your charge, we need more of you. We need more women to join us. We need more women to be a part of this. You've heard the messaging today. You've made the connections. We had great conversations in our roundtable. Let's continue the work. Share today on social media. Share your screenshots. Talk to us. Let us know how you felt about this engagement. All I can say is please join us. Thank you, ladies, for this opportunity. I've said it multiple times, and I'm going to get it out one last time without a tear. I am so grateful for you all for even trusting me to navigate this space. What I told Jessica and what I told you all yesterday was, had I known then what I know now, fear would have stopped me. I'm glad I didn't know. I'm glad I didn't know everything that was going to open up for us. I'm glad I didn't know everyone that I would meet. I'm just glad I didn't know. And I'm grateful for those unknowns that are coming up ahead of me, because I know that there's going to be some great things coming for PWN. And if I know what they are, fear is going to turn me away. So I'm ready for the unknowns. And you guys have helped me get ready for the unknowns. So enjoy the rest of your afternoon. And thank you again for this incredible experience. Enjoy the rest of your day.